Well, good evening to everybody in North America, and good morning to everybody down in Australia. And if you're in Europe, welcome to the middle of the night. And here we are. It's a beautiful day here, and hopefully it's a beautiful day or beautiful evening where you are. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. I'm sitting in Fargo, North Dakota, and yeah. This is the Sisel World Team Call. We have this every Friday night here in the States, every Saturday morning down in Australia. And really this call is designed to help you build your business. And we're really focusing on, for the rest of the year, what can we do to help you build your volume? So you're going to see kind of a common theme amongst things where you're going to see us talking about different things that will help you build your volume. And really, when you take a look at your paycheck on the 15th of every month, the biggest part of your paycheck most likely comes from the 7% commission. And so that's why it's really important that we build volume and we build strength with volume. You know, before we get the call started, I was just reading some information from Success Magazine. I don't know which ones of you subscribe to Success Magazine, but I really like it. And every so often during the week, I think it's 2 times a week, I get an email from them. But I was reading today, and I'm just going to condense what they said. But they said, you know, what are some of the reasons that a lot of people don't reach the success that they should? And they gave 4 reasons, so I'm going to quickly go through these. And one of them, the first one they said, is because people need that confirmation that what they believe is really true. They got to see it happen. People say to you, oh, I got to try those products first. Oh, I got to make it work first. Right? They need that confirmation. And so that was the first one listed. And then the second one is called the Texas sharpshooter. And that's where really it's somebody goes out with a gun and they shoot 100 times, and then they take and they draw a circle around where most of the random shots hit, right? And so then they believe that they're a good shot because they circled the random shots. And that's how a lot of people run their lives. They run their lives on random shots and what seems to work, you know, and they draw a big circle around it, and never really helps them reach success because it's just random things that happen by coincidence. And then the third thing is something they called self-fulfilling. And, you know, people wake up and they wake up, and I usually wake up and I go, man, this is going to be another great day. And it is. It is. I usually have days that are pretty darn good. I can't think of a bad day. And but a lot of people wake up and think, oh, man, this is just going to be a crappy day. It's going to be another one of those days. And it is. That's what they get because that's what they decided it was going to be from the morning they jumped out of bed. And you know, you go to a restaurant and you have this preconceived idea that, oh, this place is going to suck, the food's going to suck. And it usually does because that's what you decided it was going to be. So every day you got to get in the mood that you got to convince yourself this is going to be another successful day. I'm going to talk to 4 new people today. I'm going to talk to 5 new people today. I'm going to share this information with 3 new people today. And you decide. Be in control of your day. Don't let it be that self-fulfilling thing. And then it's the Baden-Meinhof principle. That's number 4. And you notice, like, I've been single now for a few years when I got divorced. And you know, I noticed, how many couples do I see? Everybody seems to be coupled up but me. And everywhere you go, everybody's a couple. And you know, and when you're married, then you notice the singles and things like that. When you know, when you're driving down the road, do you notice what color all the other cars are? No, you don't, because you have to pay attention to that. And so what happens is that your brain prioritizes things, and it prioritizes the recent things that you see or you hear, and the activities that you do and things like that. And so you get off track because you watch the news. and you watch the bad things that are happening, and all of a sudden that becomes your priority. So what if you took and you made your goals on top of the list, on top of your mind every single day? And now you can beat the Baden-Meinhof principle, right? Baden-Meinhof principle. You just learned something new today. So with that, let's move into the call. And you know, I just, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play an audio that I have right now. It's from a friend of ours down in Australia, and she has made a recording because she couldn't be here tonight. And we're gonna play this recording. Narrowly Highland made this recording, kind of telling us her story.
Hello.
It's Nerily.
Hello, Nerily. It's Katie.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
The question that I'd like to ask you would be if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay. Well, about 25 years ago, I had breast cancer and had normal treatments for it, which I wished I'd never had because I'm still suffering the consequences. So when I learnt about Tom Mauer's previous company, I was very excited and started using all his products, and everything in the house, everything that touched my body was things that he had formulated. I heard him talk quite a few times, and because I had heard him and seen him, I had total faith in everything that he made and everything that he said, and the products really brought me back to life. So when I heard that he had a new company called Sisel, I was very excited and joined on the very day that I'd heard about it and started using all his new products. And I'd had to stop work about 8 years ago because of very bad insomnia. I was a bus driver and a teacher, and I just couldn't manage it anymore because without very much sleep, I wasn't able to stay awake or have energy to teach. So I hadn't had work or, the needed money that I needed for quite a while. So when I started using the Sisel products, I was very excited about it when I read about the eternity, and I spent days studying resveratrol and days studying Vercoiden. I was very excited because of the things that I read about those products for cancer. So I thought, oh, great, I'm taking these things to help me. And then when Tom announced that he'd made this wonderful age pill, I thought, man, this is wonderful. Everybody's going to want this. Maybe I could make some money from this. But before, I really hadn't. I told lots of people, but people weren't interested, so I basically was just buying things for myself and leaving everybody else to their problems. But when I heard about the age pill, I thought, I think maybe I could make some money out of this, which I needed greatly. And so I was very excited when the age pill arrived. I got it on day one in Australia and began. Now, before this, my insomnia had got so bad, and we believed that it was probably caused from having chemotherapy due to other people saying similar things. And so nothing over the years had worked. I'd tried absolutely everything. Anyway, I kept a diary from day one to note down any changes in my body. Quite a few things were wrong. And I began having regular sleeps, going to sleep before midnight or before 1 o'clock. And 4 or 5 o'clock was a normal thing for me, 4 or 5 a.m. to go to sleep. But at the end of the first month, I had slept before midnight 13 nights. And to think I hadn't slept before midnight for, 15 years or so.
Wow.
It was a wonder. In the second month, I began sleeping every night between, around about 10 p.m. and continued on. So that was quite amazing. Other things happened too, like I'd had a very annoying bowel problem for many, many years. it actually stopped in the very first week. It was like an immediate fixing of that problem.
Wow.
In the third week, the energy clicked in like I'd never had before. My husband thought I had ADD because I couldn't sit still, and that sort of calmed down, but I still seem to run everywhere I go because I just want to. And I had a very bad back for over a year, hadn't been able to make the bed or vacuum, and in the third week I realised that pain had gone. So with those things happening to me, I was able to tell people, and everybody who knew me knew that I couldn't sleep. So when they heard that Nerily was sleeping, they thought, oh, well, we should try this too. Maybe it would do something for us. So because of the results that I had so quickly, I was able to get lots of people joined up very quickly. And within just a couple of months, I was getting enough bonus back to pay for my products.
Fantastic.
Which I couldn't afford in the first place. And so as more people signed up and more bonus, I was able to get lots of other things as well. So I've changed my whole house over to everything, the shampoos and cleaners and things, and taking quite a few products as well as the age pill, and my husband as well. And so it wasn't very long before I was able to reach 1 star, which is what we aim at in Sisel, because of my testimony, really, that I was able to share. And it's still hard to tell people because most people don't like people telling them about things they should take. But I can remember many times thinking, oh, well, just get up the courage, ring them. Nothing can be hurt by it.
Yes.
And so I've just tried to do that over the months, just get courage up and tell someone about it. And of course, not everybody wants to know about it, and they're sceptical, but there's been lots who have said, sounds great, I think I should try it.
Yeah.
So many of my friends and family have been trying it, which is great. So
awesome.
I feel like it's really changed my life in many ways, because health-wise, of course, being able to sleep, is such a wonderful thing. But I've also been able to get, the money to pay for them, and not have to, get my husband to pay for it, which is a very good thing.
Most definitely. And so you feel obviously the product is too good not to share with anyone, with others, like you feel the need that because of your results that you would be doing people a disservice if you didn't at least let them know and give them the option to, have a think about it and make a decision whether or not they should try it? Is that?
Yes. Well, so many people have problems, and when you hear somebody saying that they or their relatives have got something wrong that you've read research about with the age pill, for instance, or resveratrol that has shown results for that particular problem, you sort of can't help but think, oh, I need to tell them. Like yesterday, someone told me their daughter had very bad autoimmune disease. So I thought, well, in the next few days, I'm going to have to send her an email and say, look, I've read about this information with ingredients in the age pill that could help your daughter. So that sort of is a good opening that you can speak with people.
Yeah.
When there's so much research that you can share.
Most definitely. So, it seems like you've built, a great team and reached 1 star because really of your great love for the products and for the male mission. And how do you feel about the business, the network marketing business, and the future of the business?
Well, I've never really taken much interest in it before. I had a number of people sign up before with the company that I was in, but they sort of dropped out, and that's why I decided, I'm just doing it by myself. Nobody wants to know. But this particular Sizzle business is so much better. The rewards are so much greater. And it's not like you're putting money into nothing. The products are just so amazing, as far as I'm concerned, that whatever the cost, I think is worth it for them, because they, are so amazing. But the compensation plan is just so good. And even now, in the last few weeks, I've been away. I haven't had been able to do much. But suddenly, people who I have sponsored have signed up people, have sponsored people. And, in a very short time, my business has grown even more, because suddenly these others are sharing too. And they are sharing because of the great testimonies they have had themselves.
Yes.
And once they've tried the H pill and had great results, then they too can't help but share it with others.
Fantastic. And how do you feel about the future of Sizzle and sort of where they're going? What's your vision for the future for yourself and, I guess, for Sizzle?
Well, for Sizzle, even, just today and yesterday, some things that Tom has posted, Tom Mauer, about the improvements he's making in the product, just blows your mind. You think, well, how can it get any more powerful? But the thing with him is continually thinking of ways to improve every product, so they are never going to be outdated. They are always going to be the latest research that's out there, because he's researching himself all the time. So, he said not long ago, if you're taking a product that was made 5 years ago, it's out of date, because so much research is happening. So we can have confidence and faith to know that our Sizzle products are going to be the latest thing there is forever, because once he finishes making a product, he starts working out how to make it better. So that's, an important thing that doesn't happen in other companies. As far as me and my future, we will see. Well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Wherever you go, there's some new people to talk to. I think I told you the other day I went out to lunch with some people and they were all talking about their health problems. And I sort of thought, well, I don't think it's the place for me to say. But then one of the others who I had shared it with said, you ought to ask Nerily about the magic pill she's taking. So I had the opportunity to tell them.
That's beautiful. Great.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. What a great story. And it's just great to hear about where you've been and, where you're going and how you've been progressing through the business and sharing the products with others. So I just really want to thank you for your time and look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Oh, you're very welcome. Good to talk to you, Katie.
Good to talk to you. Thanks, Nerily.
Okay.
Bye.
Only on the interview. The thing that I hear when I listen to that is, here's someone who she got in it because of the product, but her life changed, and all of a sudden, she needed this business to provide an income, and it was there at the right time, and the opportunity was there, and she got started. And you notice how she talked about, becoming one star. And I always tell people that when I'm talking to people about Sizzle, and I share with them, I say the first thing we want to do is we want to get you to one star. You want to explain what is a one star and why is it so important to get to that level. And you start sharing that with people. And just like Nerily and Katie were just talking about, you start talking about and you start sharing it with people. Pretty soon, here's Nerily sitting in a restaurant talking to her friends, and her friends are talking about the problems that they have. And she's kind of afraid. She's like, how do I bring it up? But she's talked about it enough that her friends knew that she was a raging fan of the product. So we're going to talk about that, why that's so important. And all of a sudden they're saying, hey, Nerily, why don't you tell about this magic pill, this magic potion that you have? And maybe they were poking fun at her or whatever, but at least they brought it up and she's able to talk about it. And I really like that. That's something that you can learn from that. I can learn from that. We can all learn from that. And all of a sudden you start putting these building blocks together. What if everybody that you brought on board last year, you could get them all to 1-star? What if you could do that? You know, let's move up to Canada. Let's move to the other side of the planet, clear across the other side of the planet. We're going to go up to my friend, business partner, and confidant here, Alan Hordell. And Alan, you've been in the industry for a lot of years. And, you know, tonight, really, I wanted to talk to you, maybe discuss a little bit about your reason why. Why are you here in Sisel? And, you know, in the years that you've been in the industry, have you ever seen a company that has such a wide variety of products that truly can change lives like Neroli was just talking about?
Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks so much, Kurt. And it's great to be on the call. And, you know, I'm celebrating my 40th year full-time in the industry, and I brag about that. I truly do, because 40 years of being in an industry such as great as network marketing is a real privilege. It truly is a privilege, and I'm blessed to be able to have done that over the course of the last 40 years. You know, it's interesting. I won't go into an accident, but I was in a horrific accident 11 years ago, in a snowmobile accident where I was throwing 50 feet, and I went through about 3 to 4 years of major surgeries, nerve transplants, muscle transplants, and things like that. And it was interesting because when I was listening to that audio of the two ladies and hearing about, you know, how she was with Tom's previous company and how she knew about Tom and things like that, it was very familiar to what I was thinking of and how I got involved with Sisel, and that was 8 years ago, is that one of my friends said, hey, we need to get a hold of Tom, and he's got some products. And at that time, he was just bringing out the resveratrol product called Eternity, and to shock certain one gene in the body. And I just gone through nerve transplants a couple of years before that. So we got a hold of Tom, and, you know, the 20-minute phone call turned into 6 hours. And it was quite amazing. And Dr. Kurt knows how that can happen with Tom at times. And since then, I've had hundreds and hundreds of calls with Tom, and I got involved with Sisel, and it wasn't for the business. I was doing very, very well in the industry and had done very well in the industry. I was mainly looking at getting my health back, getting my body back together after the accident. And I kind of go down the same road as Dr. Kurt with his accident. And in saying that, that's how I got involved with Sisel. And it's interesting because I've seen over the last 8 years, I've seen some amazing products get enhanced that Tom has introduced and formulated. And I've seen those products go through different phases. I mean, because technology, science changes every single day. It truly does. And that's one thing about Tom. He's always looking at increasing or increasing the potency or bringing on a new ingredient into his product or to enhance the product. And the age pill is no thing. I think one of the greatest inventions in the history of mankind when it comes to nutrition is the age product. And again, I can give you my personal testimonials on atypical cancer cells last fall when I had atypical cancer cells in my bladder and the kidney. And I went to the doctor and they found it, and I just kept on going on with the age pill, and we got a little bit of treatment from the doctors, and within 30 days, we had actually cleaned up the atypical cancer cells, and they never developed into a tumor. Now, I'm not here to say it cures anything or treats any illness, but I'm giving my personal testimonial on what it did for me, and thanks to the Tom and the Age product, Dr. Kurt, I was able to have that product to be able to take that product and do what it's supposed to do in the body, and it did the trick. So, you know, that's the reason. If you bring it in, and going back to the ladies, I was just that audio was absolutely fantastic, because everything that lady said in there of how she came to the company and how she shares the products, how she became a 1-star and things like that. That's exactly what happens with Sisel, because I'm going to tell you honestly right now, when you bring people onto the product, you need to be a user of the product. I mean, I'm sitting here and I can count just on, you know, I can't even count on all my fingers and toes how many products I use on a daily basis. From shampoos to the sizzling to the coffee to the soaps to you name it, I use it. and Bitcoin, Triangle, Life, the whole three, Eternity, and it's amazing. And once you get on the product, you don't go off them. And so if you haven't tried some of these products or you aren't using some of these products, you need to be a user of the product. You need to teach the same thing in your organizations. You need to teach people to use the products, become toxin-free, become nutritional wise. You start your day off with Sizzling. End your day or start your day with an amazing cup of coffee. End your day with an amazing cup of coffee. End your day with brain vitality. End your day with the Age product. So Dr. Kurt, it's so easy to be able to be on at least half a dozen of the products, if not more, like we are, Dr. Kurt.
You got that right. And that was one of the things I was going to ask you is that, you've been in the industry a long time. I mean, let's be honest. You're close to a half a century of being in the network marketing industry. And I'm not trying to say that to make you feel old or anything, but, as you've watched the industry change and grow and evolve and things like that, how important is it to be not just a user of the product, but really a promoter and a fan, a cheerleader? You can't just be a user. You got to be a cheerleader, right?
Yeah, it's easy, in a lot of companies, and I'm going to be just straightforward and straight honest, and that's just the way I am about the industry. There's this placebo effect in the industry, and I see it over and over and over and over again, where companies come and they bring out a product, and they're curing this and they're curing that, and they're treating this and they're treating that, and it just gets unbelievable. But when I talk about Sisel, and I talk about the true science of what Tom does, the true science of the ingredients he uses, you can do your own research. And this is what I tell people. Do your own research. Go to PubMed.org and type in the word Bitcoin. Go on the internet, type in the word Bitcoin. Go look at Sizzling. I had diabetes. I wound up with diabetes about 8 years ago. The last 2.5 years I've been diabetes-free thanks to the Sizzling and control my glucose levels and things like that. And that's amazing. So, once you're a user and once you know that the effect that it's having on not only, with your health, your family's health, your the people you introduce it to, there's no placebo effect here. There is absolutely no placebo effect. For the simple fact is it works. And it works inside the body. So you can be that guy in the corner of the street, the town hauler or crier, and you can say, say how good these products work because you're experiencing it. You're feeling it. You know what the Age pill is doing. Man, I'll tell you something. This Age pill is something else. If you're not telling every single person that you come in contact with, I just had a lady, I live at the lake in the summer. I'm just packing up for the season to head back into the city. And I was just down at the lakefront there watering some grass and things like that. And a lady phoned up and she says, Alan, she says, I need 6 more Age pills. I need a bottle of toothpaste and I need a bottle of Bitcoin. How soon can you get it for me? Well, that's what it is. And I said, Priscilla, I said, I should have some coming up in next week, but I'm going to tell you what, I'll order a bunch more. So, that's what happens. And these are return customers. That lady the other day, one of my Mennonite people the other day, she phoned me up and says, Alan, I need some more of that amazing transfusium. I can't believe my skin. I can't believe that my husband's saying how good I look. I also need 6 more of the Age pill, and I also need, I forget the Bitcoin as well. So, this happens all the time because once people are on the product, it works and it works and it works, and they want it. They can't go without it, Dr. Kurt.
You bet. Well, and Alan, as you're saying that, it makes me think about the 4 reasons that people don't reach success. And so many people think, oh, I have to have a story of my own. I can't do this until I have a story of my own. And I'm going to let you kind of just give some information about why that's kind of a beginner mistake and what can you do based on the stories you just shared tonight. What can you do with those stories if I'm just getting started? We've got Chris who just got started with Sisel here in July, and he's just really get going. How can he use your stories to build his business so he doesn't have to wait until he has his own story?
yeah, that you're exactly correct. You know, it's not so much, you know, what the effect, and you say, okay, I'm going to take the product, and once it starts working on me, then I will start to market. Don't get that mentality. You know, we live in a world today where the network marketing industry is the largest industry in the world. It's created more millionaires, me including one of them, than any other industry in the world. And when I talk about this, and when you come into a company like Sisel, all you need to do is look at the track record. All you need to do is go read some of the testimonials, get involved with the Facebook groups, read the testimonials, use somebody else's story, use my story, use the story that I've been clinically dead twice in the last 11 years, and brought back to life, and now doing 15 kilometers every single day, and I mean this, 15 kilometers every single day, you know, and being able to bring my life back with these products. I mean, so you can use somebody else's story. You can say, hey, you know about this crazy guy up in Canada? He's been in the industry 40 years, and he's been clinically dead twice, and he's had diabetes, he's had open heart surgery, he has a pacemaker, and he's doing 15 kilometers a day. Somebody's going to say, what are you smoking? No, he says, it's true, it's true. And it is. It's absolutely true, because I'm not going to tell a story here that's not true, because that's important. The facts that you give to people, you want the truth. The facts you give to people, you want to back it up. The facts you give to people, you can back up with Sisel, and you can back it up with Tom Maurer, because I've known of this man for many years. Just like the lady in that audio said, she said, I knew of Tom in his last company. Well, guess what? His last company was one of the largest, well, in fact, it became the 5th largest company in the world. And in Canada here, it was absolutely gigantic. It was huge. In fact, that company still exists today. They're still using formulas. Finding those formulas are so outdated, but they're still using Tom's formulas today, and they're still doing well. Thank God. But you know what? Sisel is poised with their product, their development, their science, their manufacturing, and everything else they've got going for them. And you know what? When Tom leaves this earth in the next 40, 50 years, there's Tom Maurer Jr. Then there's Tom Maurer Jr. So this is an ongoing thing. So you can rest assured that you got the greatest products, but you also got a home and you got a story to tell, Dr. Kirk.
You bet. Well, Alan, thanks for sharing your experience and everything that you have. I mean, it's wonderful to have you on here, and we'll get you on every so often. And if you just kind of give us words of wisdom and things like that. And you know, I know narrowly your story was recorded, but you know, thanks for sharing that, and Katie and everybody for being on and being part of this. You know, it's the bottom of the hour, just a couple minutes past, and I know it's a great weekend. Get out and enjoy it. Have some fun. And like I said, you know, that Baden-Meinhof principle, right? I'm going to pound this into your head. Baden-Meinhof principle. Keep your goals at the top of your priority list. Keep your goals at the tip of your tongue. You know, what I do is I take a piece of paper and I write my goals on it. And what I do is then I take a picture of whatever my reward is. I'm going to reward myself when I quit smoking cigarettes. I was going to buy myself a convertible Mustang. I've got a 68 Mustang convertible that I totally restored, and I put a picture of that on the mirror next to my goals, and it reminds you every day. And now it prioritizes that, and that's what the Baden-Meinhof principle is that your brain prioritizes the things that it sees recently, and that's what you want to do, folks. Just keep that on the top of your mind, and then start, you know, thinking of things. Hey, I'm going to go out and talk to 3 people today, 3 new people. And if you talk to 3 new people every day, I'm telling you, there's absolutely no way that you won't find success in what you're doing here with Sisel. So everyone, have a great weekend. Have a great month here. Let's make it a good one, and enjoy. Bye-bye.